The idea of my latest series of work started with a recent uprising in Iran. Actually, not recent, but with an uprising in Iran in 2009. And then 2 years later, there was the Arabic Spring that was kind of happening all over the Middle East. And so the latest body of work, both paintings and animation, are influenced by that. If you look carefully, you'll see that in Middle East, there's always a leader or a person that people look up to for guidance and for leadership. And this person becomes a symbol of hope. And everybody wants him to be the new leader, and they want to get rid of the corrupt one, the one that was the one previous. They just want to get rid of the corrupt leader and bring the new one in. And so they symbolize the new leader as the sign of hope, as a sign of, they make him look like a hero, a superhero who's going to save them, who's going to fix everything, absolutely. And then as soon as this person is elected and it comes into power, then just few months after that, everything is, all the promises are forgotten, and basically this person also become just like the one before him. When I was invited to do this show for Asia Society, that was, I made this animation based on one of my latest painting, Lotus, and in which that I have the ruler, the corrupt ruler, sitting on the throne, and all the monkeys that are followers are around him, and they are basically offering him explosives, grenades, bombs, and things like that. And he is sitting there, he is in the center, sitting on a lotus, on a throne, and he is kind of powerless to do anything. So for this animation, I did the same thing. I started the animation with a picture of a Buddha, but it's a symbol. That this animation is not about Buddha, it's about Buddha as a symbol. And so he's sitting there, and all the monkeys are around him. The first few minutes of the animation, everything is happy. The bubbles are, popping up and down, and everybody is like kind of playing with a ball or something. It's a very peaceful, nice environment. But through like 2-3 minutes through the animation, something happens, and things start to get a little bit unstable, and that's where the bubbles turns into bombs and explosives. And if throughout the animation it keeps go back to the picture of the Buddha, and it shows him that he's also changing shape. First he's losing the hat, then it becomes a turban, and then the hands are going up, and then in his hands is like at first it's a bubble, but then it turns into the bomb at the end. Kind of getting back, in a way it is like a commentary on what's going on in our world today, especially in the Middle East. The reason that I was interested in this, I specifically chose these 2 Buddhas from the collection, was because one of them, the smaller one, the Buddha from Kashmir, is, I really liked the formal elements. It was gorgeous, drawn, like a throne around him, and the setting, everything was about it was very exquisite. And in my paintings, I love, the decoration and kind of making it beautiful. So it was kind of connecting to, like formally, it was very much was working for me. Buddha Shakyamuni was the Buddha that I thought it is very much, it's kind of related to my work, because as part of the description of this Buddha from Burma is that he is in the struggle with the good and bad energy. At the time that he tries to gain enlightenment, but then Mara, which is the bad energy, or the devil, Mara with his enemy, is there to attempt him. And so there is a struggle going on for this Buddha, specific Buddha. And so when I was reading about this, I felt like it really works for my symbol, for the person that is sitting on a lotus. because he is also struggling very much. He's struggling with the bad and with the good. Monkeys around him are offering him explosive and the bombs, and he is actually sitting on a place of power, and he has to, in a way, he has to find a way not to give in. But unfortunately, in my animation, at the end, the good person turns into a tyrant. But in the history of the Buddha Shakyamuni from Burma, he actually, his followers and his worshippers that are sitting behind him, they are that are sitting in front of him, they are they're helping him, and he win the battle at the end, unlike mine. This animation was based on a 3-panel painting that I did last year, and at the time I had no idea I was going to make an animation anytime soon, or based on this painting. And so when we decided to, when everything came together and we decided to start with this animation, things were a little bit challenging for us, because the creatures or the characters have already been created, and they were there, and I had to use them. So that's why we had to go, me and the animator had to go through a lot of process, taking every element out with Photoshop, and then first start from the background, and then take each element, like the monkeys or the other animals in the painting. We have to kind of move them separately, and also in the background there are a lot of stuff that are going on, and the animator tried to move every single piece individually, so we can create this very chaotic, the very chaotic scene that we're looking for. This painting is done entirely in watercolor painting and in watercolor. So I wanted to keep throughout the animation, that was my goal, to keep the watercolor effect and all the puddling effects and texture that you get in watercolor medium. Also for the background, I did use a lot of tricks to get a very, texture, to get a nice texture. I used a lot of rice grain on top of the, wash that I put down at first, and a lot of hair, a lot of salt, and I just let the background be for a few days to dry. And the salt and the rice grain and the hair somehow absorbed the water, and once it was dry, it created a very beautiful, chaotic background that was kind of working for the concept. I just wanted to open a dialogue with this animation. I wanted to raise questions in people's mind. I wanted to see what each symbol says, and start a kind of, I just want to raise the question in people's mind, and I'm sure that everybody is going to find the answer for themselves.